Hey, welcome to Half the Metal.
It's been a while, but we're back to ranking every G.I. Joe figure from a single year of the original toy line, and we've got a whopping 44 to get through for 1989, plus 2 extras.
So let's dive right in.
As always, we'll be going alphabetically with the Joes and Cobra on their own list. First, there's Backblast, a fine figure to start with indeed. He's got a great and unique look, and I considered him for the best tier.
But two things keep him out.
The yellow ammo belt is ugly and too big for him. Also, while his missile launcher is cool, he doesn't come with an actual gun, so why have the ammo belt at all? All that means is he goes into the good tier instead of the best. Next is our first look at Slaughter's Marauders with Barbecue. And look, I'm not a big fan of the color scheme on these figures, but it's especially bad on Barbecue. I mean, the first figure screams firefighter. This one just screams ugly, so he goes into the bad and ugly tier.
Speaking of sub-teams, we're getting a second wave of Night Force.
Starting with Charbroil. And while I think the figure's new color scheme is an improvement on the first, it's not that awesome, but I'll still put him in the good tier. Countdown is a new astronaut character, and they went futuristic with it, but I just find it kinda bland. It's saved from that tier though, thanks to the accessories, the backpack in particular. It's neat and has good play value, enough to lift the figure up into the good tier.
And speaking of futuristic,
there's DJ, the last Battle Force 2000 figure in the original line. And I mean, what even is this? The other BF 2000 figures looked futuristic, but still realistic. This one though, yeah, they went a bit overboard. It should come as no surprise he goes into the weird tier. Deep Six version 2.
Ugh.
I mean, I'm happy the poor guy has some actual articulation now, but that color scheme was a choice. A bad choice, the helmet especially. Yeah, ugly part of the bad and ugly tier. Now let's fly the friendly skies with Dogfight.
Yeah, he's alright. Okay, I'll give you a little more.
I like the World War I pilot aesthetic that also makes him look unique, so into the good tier he goes. And now, Downtown, Downtown.
The song is the best part of the figure.
Although he looks like he's got a lot going on with that loud outfit, for some reason he just looks like some dude to me. So weirdly enough, I'm putting him in the bland tier. Now let's cut loose, a foot loose.
Okay, I promise I'll stop singing.
This figure is one of the few where the Slaughter's Marauders colors work for it. It certainly makes him look less bland, and yeah, I kinda like it, so he gets a spot in the good tier. Hot Seat has got this Borg thing going on with his helmet, and I hope you can still hear me over how loud those pants are. Definitely weird tier material.
Here's a figure that benefits the most from getting the Night Force treatment.
Lightfoot. This is just an awesome color change and I love it, so he's the first to go into that best tier. Hey look, another Borg, long range. He's also futuristic looking to the point I wonder if he was meant for Battle Force 2000. I was tempted to put him into the weird tier, but I think he's so cool looking he deserves a spot in the good one. I've often wondered why Lowlight got a Slaughter's Marauders figure and not a Night Force one, but the original already looked like he'd fit in with Night Force as is, so the updated look would be pointless. He carries off the Marauders look pretty well, so I'll put him in the good tier. I don't think Muskrat really benefits from the Night Force treatment, but it's still a really cool look for him, so he goes into the good tier too.
Back to Slaughter's Marauders.
With Mutt, and I'll put him into the good tier, but only because he came with a doggo again. He'd better appreciate what Junkyard does for him.
And now we come to a bonus figure.
European exclusive Mutt, who looks like a combination of Night Force and Slaughter's Marauders. I like the look, so I'll put him into the good tier, but I have to ask, why? Why make this figure at all? You could have just given us the original figure, since we never got that here in Belgium. Payload version 2 is pretty much the same as the first one, only with some yellow thrown in, so he remains in the good tier.
Okay, this next figure, why is it even here?
I thought I'd just leave Rampage off the list since it's heavy metal in slightly different colors, but I suppose I have to count him anyway. Fine, he gets the same spot as heavy metal did, he's in the good tier. Recoil is another one that I would have put in the best tier, but for some of his accessories. I'm sorry, but the baby blue ruins the look a bit. so left to be content with being in the good tier. Repeater version 1 was top tier, and the Night Force version is just as sweet, so it goes into the best tier too. Rock and Roll is a very nice update of the original with a more unique look and some big badass guns. An easy pick for the good tier.
And speaking of unique,
There's Scoop, who as a combat photographer really stands out. While yellow is maybe not the best color to blend in while trying to film a battle zone, that won't keep him out of the good tier. It's ironic that Sergeant Slaughter really doesn't look good in the colors of the team named after him. Hell, I had the OSW guys do a what bar on him that one time. Yeah, ugly part of the bad and ugly tier. If not for Outback, Shockwave would be my favorite Night Force figure. A real improvement of an already good figure, so I'll place him at the very top of the best tier.
for the next one we're sticking with Night Force.
There's Spearhead, who has also been improved by joining this team, so I'm happy to put him in the good tier without even needing the kitty. Slaughter's Marauder Spirit literally does nothing for me. The colors don't look bad on him, but not good either. So with a profound meh, he goes into the bland tier. And now we come to the second bonus figure, the European exclusive Spirit. He does kinda resemble what a Night Force version would have been like, so I'll allow it into the good tier. Stalker version 2, the Arctic edition, would have been in danger of entering the bland tier, but his accessories, which include a freaking kayak, elevate him into the good one.
And we're staying with cold weather guys for our last entry.
Wind Chill. I feel this one has enough going on to avoid being bland, so I'll put him into the good tier too. And those were all the Joes. Except no, that's not true. Hi, Editing Timmer here. Yeah, if you know the alphabet and G.I. Joe, you might have noticed that I actually forgot to include a figure. Snake Eyes version 3. So this is a last minute correction. He's certainly a nice looking figure, but not as good as version 2. Still, he's good enough to be put in the good tier. And as an apology, I'll even put him in first place here. And that really means we went through all the Joes. But don't try to get off this train yet, as we've still got the Cobra stations to stop at. We're starting with the Arrow Viper. This sorrow looking mofo sure is unique looking and pretty cool. Cool enough to go into the good tier. The Alley Viper. Oh man, those colors.
Urban camouflage my ass.
That said, I have to admit that I don't think he's awful looking, so no bad or ugly tier, but I am yeeting him into the weird one. There's something about this figure that just feels right. Which can't be said for the Annihilator. Here the orange doesn't work for me, and the helmet reminds me of a duck. Bad and ugly, so a good fit for that tier.
And now, here is Python Patrol.
Copperhead was a difficult one. I like the colors and the whole motif overall, but there's one thing that ruins the figure for me. That damn yellow crotch. He looks like he's got his underwear over his trousers. It's so bad it condemns him to the ugly tier.
Do I really need to say anything about this next one?
I've talked about the Python Crimson Guard so much on so many occasions, my feelings should be clear by now. Yeah, Banana Man goes into the actual worst tier. Way to ruin the best figure ever, Hasbro. Darklon is not a very good figure, but he's unique enough to be saved from the bad tier. He's also unique enough to earn a place in the weird one. And the Frag Viper can join him there. Between the strange insect-like helmet and the uniform that looks like it's made of tanned human flesh, he belongs in the weird tier. Gnogahide, who is a pain in the ass to pronounce, was a hair away from going into the weird tier too, but this Craven the Hunter wannabe is cool enough to be allowed into the good tier. He's also the only Dreadnought this year. The Heat Viper was the most difficult to place. He's unique looking, but also weird. But I'm not too fond of the colors, but then again he's got a great launcher and backpack combo.
Yeah, I really struggled with this one.
But in the end I relented and put him into the good tier. Those missiles on his boots though, they go straight into the worst tier, as they make finding a complete one on par with one of the 12 tasks of Hercules. The Night Vipers are a great concept, and Hasbro created, either accidentally or on purpose, the perfect foil for Night Force. This figure is best tier material, and still would be even if it didn't make me think of Night Force.
Okay, I'm doing a double bill for the next entry.
Both the Python Officer and Trooper go into the weird tier. The Trooper for sure because of the look, but the Officer too because for some bizarre reason, they apparently switched uniforms and weapons for this. Yeah, the Trooper uses the original Officer mold and vice versa. It's weird as hell, and as far as I know, it's never been explained.
Do let me know in the comments below if anybody at Hasbro ever talked about this.
The Target exists because I guess Destro wanted to go into space. It sure is unique, and it's good the Astro Viper as a buddy or frenemy now. It's kinda weird, but I'll still put it into the good tier.
Now, I know, I've been harsh on the whole Python Patrol thing.
But I have to admit the Python Televiper looks really nice. Here the colors and motif work really well. Hell, I'll make this another double bill because I could say the exact same thing about the Python Viper, so they both go into the good tier. Also, this episode is long enough as it is, and I promised myself I couldn't play video games until I finished it.
Damn, I've become my father.
Okay, we're almost done as we look at the Trek Viper, and it's another tough one. Futuristic, sure, but he looks like a cheap 60s sci-fi movie character. I was tempted to put him in bad, but he doesn't evoke that much of a reaction from me, so he goes into the bland tier.
And finally,
The Wild Boar. Why do like 3 figures remind me of the Borg this year? Was somebody in design a Trekkie? I'm not a big fan of this one, and the red plastic even looks a little cheap compared to other figures. Yeah, not digging the look either, so he goes into the bad tier.
at last, we're done.
All 44 figures ranked, plus 2 bonus ones. And yes, there were some mail-ins, but apart from Rampage, they weren't different enough to warrant a ranking. And it looks like I'm catching a break for the next list, as for the first time in history, there will be less G.I.Joe figures to look at than the previous year.
Now go yell at me in the comments about how the Python Patrol Crimson Guard is your favorite figure or something. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.